नमस्कार दोस्तों, once again welcome at Lit E-City YouTube channel, your one-stop destination for English learning resources. Dear friends, we are discussing about the post office. The post office is one of the most popular plays by Rabindranath Tagore. We have already discussed in part first about the background to the writer, background to the play, and summary of the first act. We have seen about the young boy Amal who is critically sick, who is confined to his room, and who desires to go outside and play like a normal boy. But unfortunately, he can't do so. We have seen how he talks to several candidates passing through his window. There is a milkman, there is a watchman, there is village headman, a flower selling girl, and some village boys. So we will continue with the summary of Act Second. Now, Act Second starts with Amal lying in bed and pleading with Madhav. वो लगातार रिक्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं माधव जो उनके फादर हैं टू लेट हिम गो आउट टू द विंडो, एटलीस्ट वो विंडो पे जाए, और क्योंकि ही इज नाउ ऑन हिज बेड टोटली. माधव सेज दैट नो, because sitting there for hours every day he has worsened his health. और भी ज्यादा उनकी तबीयत जो है खराब हो गई है, इस वजह से he can't allow him to go and sit in the window. Amal thinks that he feels more ill by staying in bed. बच्चा है तो obviously he has this desire at least to look at things. If he can't go outside, कम से कम वो बैठ कर तो वहाँ enjoy कर ले. He tells Madhav that it is time when his fakir friend passes by the window and he would look for him. Now Madhav is perplexed because he has not seen any fakir going from there. So he is actually shocked when he sees Ghafar entering the room in the guise of a fakir. We have met Ghafar in first act. हम जानते हैं वो माधव का फ्रेंड है, and he is a kind of very compassionate person. He has deep sympathy for this boy, or to entertain the boy he has taken the guise of a fakir. Now Ghafar indicates him to stay silent. Ghafar tells Madhav by hinting him that he should not disclose his true identity or start telling Amal a story of wonderful adventure. सारी चीज़ें जो एक वो मेकअप स्टोरीज के द्वारा, दैट है फॉर एग्जाम्पल ही टेल्स अमल ही हैज़ बीन टू द आइलैंड ऑफ पैरट्स where only birds live. He also promises Amal to teach him the art, the secret of going anywhere uninterrupted. Naturally, for a child, Amal is very much excited by these adventure stories. He also wants to go where this fakir has gone, and the fakir or Ghafar says, okay, I will tell you how to go there. Ghafar gives such an interesting account of the bird's island that Amal expresses his wish to be a bird himself. We can again see that Amal is actually a boy full of curiosity, full of longing to partake into various adventures and want to experience life. Ghafar says he must decide what he wants to become actually, because whatever he sees, Amal, this boy, he wants to become the same person. At this point, Amal is reminded of the dairyman, and Madhav informs him that dairyman will not come today because he has gone to his village for the marriage of his niece. Now this news is like a shock for Amal, because Amal says that dairyman has promised to marry his niece to Amal. Now Madhav does not find this funny. He says that this is stupid talk. He is mere boy. And out of desperation, he goes off. Now, Gafar and Amal, they both are alone together. Amal now inquires from Gafar if the king has sent him the promised letter, and Gafar says it has already been dispatched and soon it will reach to Amal. फर्स्ट एक्ट में हमने देखा था कि किस तरह से अमल इज इन्फॉर्म्ड अबाउट अ पोस्ट ऑफिस एंड द ही इज प्रॉमिस दैट वन डे द वॉचमैन promises अमल that one day he will also get a letter. So Amal from that day is waiting for a letter which is written by the king. Here we must discuss the symbolism. Gafar knows very well that the boy has a very short life. He will die soon, and he wants to console Amal by telling him some interesting stories. Amal says that he knows letter is on the way because he has visualized, he has imagined a postman coming from the hills towards his window. Gafar is moved by the child's imaginative powers. He also touched by the boy's urgent need to have this letter. Amal now asks Gafar if he knows the king who owns the post office. Now there is a very, very deep philosophical reply by Gafar, who says that he every day goes to this king and asks alms from him. Obviously, Gafar is talking about the most omnipotent king. We should not use most with omnipotent. The omnipotent king, God, or the Almighty. And when Amal listens to this, he says that when he will become fit, he will also go to this king, his door, and he would also ask to be made a postman. This is his sole desire. Now, he also informs Gafar that earlier he used to feel trapped inside. He felt lonely in the room. He had this longing to go outside. But now, as he expects a letter from the king, he is happy staying alone and inside. He doesn't want to go outside because he is afraid that maybe when he is outside, the letter arrives from him and he doesn't want to miss the chance. Now Madhav enters now and he chides both of them for spreading the rumor that the king has opened an office there to post letters to the fakir and the boy. He is very much, angry. It is the thing which the village headman has told Madhav, that how your boy has been spreading this false news. The village headman has also warned him that he will complain the king about this nuisance, about this we can say great assumption by the poor Madhav and his boy Amal. Madhav is afraid that king will be crossed with him, but Gafar assures him that this king, that is the Almighty, knows everything and he won't feel offended by the boy's act because he knows very well that boy is innocent and curious. Amal now informs Gafar that he is feeling quite exhausted, sleeping since morning, and it seems that everything is getting darker in front of his eyes. It is quite alarming. Madhav is now very much afraid that boy's health is getting worse. Gafar, understanding his sick state, assures him that his letter will arrive today. The doctor enters and looking at Amal's face, he feels worried about his health. He asks Madhav to completely shut the doors and windows because he fears that Amal's health is deteriorating and the outside air has a role to play in it. Giving some instructions, the doctor leaves and soon the headman approaches. Amal is lying with the eyes closed, and when the headman calls him, Gaffer tries to hush him that the child is sleeping. Now, however, Amal responds and tells Gaffer that he is not asleep and he can listen to the voice of his parents coming from far, far away. Now the headman again chides Madhav for Amal's claim that a letter is expected from the king. He now ridicules Amal by showing him a blank slip of paper and calling it a letter from the king. Amal says that he doesn't know how to read, so please, he requests this man to read the letter for him. When Amal says he can't see or read anything on it, the headman reads it in a sarcastic tone that the king will come today, that his physician will also come with him, that he will eat puffed rice. He makes so many things just to mock the boy. And this way, he tries to make fun of the presumption of this poor innocent boy. Madhav requests the headman to not make fun of the poor child. Gaffer says that don't worry, if the letter says so, indeed the king himself would come with his royal physician. So we can understand that Gaffer or the fakir has full faith in God's, we can say, sympathy, or we can say large heartedness of the Almighty. Amal is so full of joy on finally receiving the long expected letter. He touches the feet of the headman, and now the headman is also moved by the boy's sincere gesture. He realizes that boy was not making tall claims, but he sincerely believed that the God will write to him. There is a knock on the door, and the headman inquires who is at gate. There is no reply at first. Suddenly there is some banging type of sound. A few seconds later, the herald from the king enters in his royal dress and announces to everybody's surprise that the king will really certainly visit the house in the night. The king has also sent his royal physician who orders to open up all the windows and the doors. He says that it is not good that the boy is confined. He should face the fresh air. He asks Amal if he would be able to walk with the king when he arrives in the night. He also asks Madhav to arrange for some flowers. He tells the headman to leave, but Amal requests this physician to let him stay because headman is also one of his friends. Madhav is excited about the king's visit, and he whispers in Amal's ear to ask for some expensive gift from the king because it is an opportunity to have the blessing, materialistic blessing of the king. Amal says, sorry, I have already thought about it, and what he will ask is to make him one of his postmen so that he can also wander to far off places. When Amal asks Madhav what they will offer to the king, the herald informs that the king would like to have puffed rice. It is once again a surprise to everybody present there. Headman is now quite embarrassed and he says he can arrange for a good meal. But the royal physician refuses and asks everyone to be quiet. He says that the boy is about to sleep and no one should disturb him, and also instruct to blow out the lamp, leave the child alone, and allow the starlight to enter the room. There is complete silence in the room, and soon Sudha, the flower girl, enters calling Amal. The physician tells her that Amal is sleeping and should not be disturbed. Sudha has brought some flowers and asks the physician if she can give these flowers to Amal. The physician nods and informs that Amal will awake when the king will come and call him. So, this is a direct message that the king here represents the god of death, Yamraj. Sudha asks the physician to convey her message to Amal that she still remembers him. And with these words, the curtain falls down. So there is symbolically, there is, we can say, not a very clear ending, but we can understand the implicit message that Amal has died and the king, the Yamraj, has arrived. If we talk about some important symbols of the play, because it is a symbolical play, it is a remarkable philosophical work by Tagore. It presents some deep ideas of life and death, but in a very simple and touching story. On the very surface, it is the story of a boy hungry for adventures outside the four walls of his house in which he is confined. But on the allegorical level, it can be understood about our soul's quest to go beyond the physical world. The body here can be considered as the four walls that confine the soul, and soul is yearning for its delivery, for its freedom. The king in the play naturally refers to the god, particularly the god of death, who comes and takes the soul with him and thus liberating it. A very significant point is that there are many references to the god in the king in the play, but he never appears in physical form. It is just like the god himself. He never appears physically in front of us. The opening of the gate by the king's physician is the symbol of opening of human mind to innumerable possibilities beyond this mortal world. Just as he asks that everything, doors and windows should be open, it is a symbol that how we should not confine ourselves to this world only. The soul can feel, can understand the beyond boundaries world also. The letter for which the boy is waiting for long is the symbol of the invitation of the God, the message calling us to leave this illusory or what we call Mayavi world. The blank slip of the paper symbolizes the message of God which cannot be deciphered by common mean, which can be interpreted according to one's will and understanding. For some people, it is blank paper, and for other it is a paper full of message of hope. So these are different symbols which are used in the play. With this, we come to the end of the summary and analysis of this play. I hope it helped you to understand the play and its motive and symbols. Very soon we will come with another work for discussion. Till then, keep supporting, keep watching. Thank you, dear friends.